In Britain, your address is more than a location. It is a mathematical statement of your life's margin. But the reality of the word home changes entirely depending on which tier of the market you are stepping into. Today, we are looking at 5 distinct house price levels in 2026. Same country, same grey sky, 5 completely different lives. Let's begin at the bottom of the ladder. The entry tier runs from £150,000 to £200,000. This is the exact fault line of the north-south divide, and the numbers here are brutal. In the northeast, the most affordable region in the entire country, the average home sits at around £151,000. For that price, you get a solid 3-bedroom terrace, a yard out the back, and a front door that answers to no one but you. Put simply, in the northeast, you can buy a family home for roughly 28 pence for every pound the same money would spend in the capital. Now carry that identical budget south. In the southeast, £150,000 barely covers a studio flat, and often one saddled with a lease measured in decades rather than centuries. This is where the first great trap of British property reveals itself: leasehold. You may own the plaster and the paint, but a freeholder somewhere owns the ground beneath your feet. Every year, the ground rent quietly leaves your account. Every so often, a service charge lands without warning, and you have no vote on the size of it. You are a homeowner on paper and a tenant in practice. Critics call it fleecehold for a reason. The friction is quiet, but it never, ever stops. Now we climb into the heart of the country. The national median tier runs from £310,000 to £360,000. The average UK home in 2026 is worth around £272,000, which places this tier squarely at the top of the middle class. This is the 3-bedroom semi, with a driveway, a strip of lawn, and an estate agent's board that proudly says chain-free. Let's do the maths on a home priced at £335,000. Put down a 10% deposit, and you are borrowing roughly £300,000. With the Bank of England holding its base rate at 3.75%, mortgage deals are hovering around 5%. On a 25-year term, that repayment lands at around £1,760 every single month for the next quarter of a century. This is the tier of the house proud, cash flow squeezed. You have a home worth being proud of, but the margin between comfort and crisis is razor thin. And then, on any quiet morning, you notice it. A brown patch spreading across the ceiling, the roof is leaking. Or worse, a crack that runs the wrong way down the wall. And the surveyor says the word every homeowner dreads: subsidence. Suddenly you are staring at a 5-figure repair bill your careful budget never made room for. At this level, a home is not a bank vault. It is a machine with 1,000 moving parts, and any one of them can fail while you sleep. Let's move up again, into the professional tier. Here we are looking at £550,000 to £750,000. Welcome to the stamp duty zone, where the government takes a serious bite out of your success before you have even carried a single box through the door. Buy a home at £600,000, and HMRC will hand you a stamp duty bill of £20,000. That is £20,000 you cannot borrow into the mortgage and cannot ever recover, cash, gone, on day one. And at this level, life splits sharply in 2 directions. In the Midlands, £600,000 buys a genuine detached home with a garden your children can actually run around in. In Zone 2 of London, that very same £600,000 buys a cramped apartment where you can hear your neighbour's television through the wall. Space, in this country, is the true currency, and there is a second, subtler divide hiding inside that same price. In the Midlands, your £600,000 usually buys the freehold outright: the house, the land, the lot, no landlord in sight. In London, the very same sum frequently buys a leasehold flat, meaning you have paid detached house money to still, in the eyes of the law, be someone's tenant. And if you chase that space out into the home counties instead, you inherit the hidden cost that comes with it: the commute. A season ticket into the city can quietly cost you thousands of pounds a year just for the privilege of owning a lawn. You didn't just buy a house, you bought a daily journey. Now the transition into genuine wealth. The elite tier stretches from £1.2 million to £1.8 million. Here, the property itself changes character entirely. Period features, high ceilings, large mature gardens. A high-tech security system humming quietly at the gate. For the first time, money begins to buy something you cannot see on a floor plan: anonymity and exclusivity. A wall, a hedge, a long gravel drive placing distance between you and the rest of the world. But wealth in Britain always carries its own tax, and here we should call it what it is: the success tax. A home at this level almost certainly falls into council tax band H, the very top of the scale, and that bill runs close to £5,000 a year, every single year, before you have replaced so much as a single roof tile. And Victorian grandeur is punishingly expensive to keep grand. Original sash windows, lime plaster, a listed building status that dictates what you may and may not touch. The very features that justify the enormous price are the very features that steadily drain the account. You do not simply own a house like this. You become its custodian, and the house sends you the invoices. And finally, we reach the summit. Prime luxury begins at £5 million and climbs from there without a ceiling. This is the world of the London golden postcodes and the great country estates that sit beyond them. This is life without financial friction. When something breaks, it is quietly fixed, and nobody checks the balance first. When a room begins to feel tired, it is redesigned from scratch, and the cost registers as little more than a rounding error. Consider this: on a home worth £1.5 million, the stamp duty alone comes to more than £90,000. At this tier, that is not a shock. It is simply an entry fee, paid without a flinch. What money truly buys at the very top is the single rarest commodity on this crowded island: space. In a country with so precious little of it, acreage becomes the ultimate status symbol. Not the house itself, but the sheer distance you can afford to put around it. And here is the thread that runs through all 5 of these tiers, binding them together. The moment the direct debit hits your account each month, one question is silently answered for you. Are you building equity, brick by patient brick, into something that will one day genuinely be yours? Or are you simply renting your status from the bank, month after month, with nothing at the end of it but the fading memory of the payments? Every level on this ladder is really just a different answer to that same question. There is one more force quietly distorting all of this, and it hides in plain sight. Call it the social wage. 2 nearly identical houses, 1 street apart, can differ in price by £10,000 or more. That difference is almost never about the bricks. It is a tax on a catchment area, the price of a better primary school for your children. The postcode premium is the quiet engine of the entire British property market. When you buy a home here, you are not only buying the walls and the roof, you are buying the results table of the school at the end of the road. So here is the truth we should carry out of all 5 of these levels. A house is a machine for living. It is not merely a retirement account with a chimney on top. Whether you are in a £150,000 terrace in the northeast or a £5 million townhouse in the heart of the capital, the real prize turns out to be exactly the same. True freedom in 2026 is not the size of the house or the postcode on the letters. It is owning a front door that does not require you to work 60 hours a week just to keep the key. If you learned something from this video, make sure to like and hit subscribe. See you in the next one.